Hugh Holman.
Thank you. How's everybody? All right, we're up. All right, my name's Hugh Holman. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Observa, and we deliver AI-directed insights and actions to retail. So the problem in retail is one around ineffective trade spend. And what happens for brands is that they pay retailers for shelf space and promotions. So those dollars come from the brand to the retailer, and this is at the size of $72 billion a year in the United States. And they're unable really to see what happens. There's no way to get information about what's happening within the stores. And so the result is that they're not sure whether they have the shelf space that they paid for, whether their promotions are occurring or not. So the store is effectively a black box. But the problem doesn't stop there with that store, because they're trying to figure out what's happening with their products in hundreds, thousands, and hundreds of thousands of stores. So it's hundreds of thousands of black boxes. And if they're unable to have that view of what's happening in the stores, then they don't know, have any way to tie results back to the effectiveness of that trade spend. So in looking at this photo versus the one before, you probably didn't recognize that there were problems with that shelf, but there were. And they're shown here as things like missing products out of the set. So this shelf is designed as a planogram, so the design of a shelf, and it includes all the products the brands pay to put in there. And so products are missing, incorrect pricing, products are out of place, products from other sets show up in this set, out of stocks. These are all problems that affect the sales for the brand. Voila, Observa to the rescue. So what we're doing is we're measuring what's happening in the stores comprehensively across broad geographies. And the result is the ability to report out exactly what's happening within the stores. And the way that we do this is we have artificial intelligence to measure the information that's captured at the store. So it's data and photographs. And from there, we take it into our system and we process that information using AI to deliver the directed actions and insights required by our customers. And we don't stop there. So not only is it delivering the information needed to fix that specific store, but we aggregate the information back up for a managerial view that enables the business to peel the onion on what's happening. So then management can look across the responsibility areas of an employee. They can look across a chain and see how effective the chain is at executing on the retail plan. They can look across geographies. It's however they need to measure their business. So this is a very big market. So I said that it was $72 billion of spend from consumer brands in the United States annually. About 5% of that spend is allocated to measure what's happening in stores. So retail audits and information from subscription on what's happening in the store. So we're tapping right into those dollars. So Observa is addressing this $3.6 billion space, which looking globally advances to $11 billion. So we're really excited about the early adopters that we have, with some very large customers in the consumer packaged goods space, some channel partners, and also now some retailers. And we do have competitors in the market too. And so, as you can see, we split them up into the computer vision space and then the retail audit space. And what we're finding is that we're the only, well, first of all, we're the only company that can deliver real-time insights in this space. And what our customers are telling us is that we're the easiest to get going with, we're the fastest at delivering data, our information is the most accurate, so we're identifying the products the best in the market, and this all leads to having the most actionable data in the space. Our secret weapon, though, is our observer workforce. So we have 100,000 observers out across North America that we can tap into to go to stores and collect this information. And what this does for us is it enables us to start work faster with customers. A lot of times when going to enterprise clients, you get in a project queue where you need to wait for resources to be allocated. We take that out of the equation. We can frame up a project and get going immediately because we'll use all of our resources and are able to execute on the project right away. And that leads to future sales. As you can see here, our annual contract volume is going up rapidly, 6x over the past 2 years. And this is because we're going after those enterprise clients. We're using a land and expand approach in sales where we get into the account, the way that I was talking about before. And sometimes it's over one product or brand within their portfolio, or maybe across one retail chain, or maybe in one region. And what we're finding is, as soon as we prove ourselves, we're able to then expand that business within that account to the other products, the other territories, the other retailers. And so there's a lot of business, and our ability to grow this ACV should continue on. Our sales are breaking out. As you can see here, we're up 5.8x over last year, and we're going to close the year at 2.4 million. I started this company with my co-founder, Eric Chelstad, who I've known for 20 years. We earned our MBAs together at University of Washington. Our backgrounds are complementary. He's a double engineering major from Purdue, worked at Honeywell doing machine learning to make sure that planes don't run into each other, led and built teams of engineers at Isilon through their IPO. I have a background as a CIO and a chief strategy officer. But really, I started my career doing 3 startups, progressively larger over time, and I felt the need to get back to that. And so that's when we started Observa. We also have some great advisors in the venture space, in consumer packaged goods, and also with grocery retail management. Today, we're looking to raise $2 million, and we're going to use those funds to double down on engineering, to add to our staff around account management and customer success, to enable growth, and also to enhance our leadership team. And that's open only to accredited investors, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hugh. All right, congrats on all the nice traction. We'll take a few questions. If anyone want to start us off? While we're raising hands, I don't see anyone quite yet. We've seen some stores in Oregon, they're starting to put cameras in the ceilings to monitor shelves. How does that technology work with yours?
Yeah, so there's a lot of testing going on out there in the retail space. People are trying out robots, drones, cameras of different types. The question's always asked of me, what about the security cameras that are already in the stores? They're trying different things. There is no mass adoption on any one type of technology, and we expect that to happen. It will happen over time, and it will drive to the lowest common denominator like it does with all hardware, right? It's going to be something that's economical for the stores to buy into, and we're ready for those feeds. We're already in partnership discussions with robot companies, drone companies. We're testing shelf cameras. We're ready for all that, and we built the platform using APIs to be able to accommodate it.
Is there a question in the back, please? Yes.
Yeah, along those same lines, the question was, what's your relationship with retailers, and how do they feel about random people coming in and taking a bunch of pictures?
Yeah, great question. In the past, it was a problem. So if you go back to the 80s, even early 90s, if you were in a store taking photographs, they would ask you to leave. That's all changed, and it's for a couple reasons. One is that the retailers have so much pressure on their costs that they pushed a lot of the work off of their own staff to their suppliers. And so there's a lot of third-party service providers in the store, brands with their own field sales staff or workforce, doing DSD, direct store delivery. And so they're used to people being there doing stuff. Also, the consumer walks in the store and takes a selfie. I'll take a photo of a product and text my wife and ask, is this what I'm supposed to be buying, right? So everybody's taking photos. They're accustomed to it, so it's not really an issue anymore.
Yep, and the cheap seats, yes.
Have to pay more next time. I'm curious, you talk about this fleet of 100,000 individuals out in the world.
Yep.
Obviously, on your revenue, you're not paying them very much. What is a day in the life of one of your helpers, and how do they get compensated?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's your daily shopper. It's also the person that's doing other task-based work, maybe delivering for Postmates or driving an Uber or Lyft. Basically, we have a process where our apps deliver notifications of the opportunities in their area, and they sign up for them. So they know what they're going to be paid before they agree to do the work. They know where they have to go, and they have a general idea of what the process is, right? Once they agree and open up the opportunity that they're going to address, then it gives them better directions, a complete script on what exactly needs to happen. So they know what they're signing up for, they know what they're going to do. And the other thing that's unique about Observa is we have a validation process to ensure that the data that we capture is at the highest level. We want to make sure that it always meets our clients' needs, because if they're going to be using it to make business decisions, it needs to be of the quality to allow that. And once that process completes, and we accept their observation, then they get paid. So we issue payment immediately. There's no other company in the entire space of using contract workers like this that I'm aware of that pays the same day, and it engenders a different relationship with those observers.
Great, thanks, Hugh. One last question, maybe in the back here. Why don't you stand up, please?
All right, bear with me here, because I don't know that this is an Observa problem. But,
Okay.
So I'm thinking Red Bull pays you.
Yep.
You
Great
get
example.
Your data, you get your data. They find out, hey, this store is not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Then what? So
Yeah.
they get the data. They don't like it. What happens then? You mentioned a little bit about there's maybe some managers or the employee. How does that trickle down to have it be any different? Where's the accountability?
Sure.
And maybe that's not an Observa problem.
No, it absolutely is.
That comes to mind.
It absolutely is, and it's a great question. Our customers are all different. And so if it's Red Bull that wants the information, and we are working with Red Bull, sometimes they want the worker there to actually take action in the store. And since we can deliver instant results, we can actually direct actions of the work. We build in business rules to enable our reporting to actually tell them what the issues are and direct their work. So that's one outcome, and that could be our observer that's there, or it could be their worker that's in the store, right? But not every client wants to do it that way. Sometimes they already have signed up for people that are responsible for that work. Maybe it's a merchandising organization. Maybe they have a workforce that'll be at that store the next week, and they're really checking to see the quality of their worker out in the field. So it really depends on the client.
Okay, with that, we're going to have to end it. Thank you, Hugh, and
All right.
congratulations on your
Thank you.
traction at Observa.